What is good, YouTube? Back with another video. We are going to get straight into the charts. So today was pretty smooth. I gotta say, it has to be like an A+ setup. This has to be probably like one of the most cleanest setups in a while. So we're just gonna do a top to bottom analysis, going to higher time frame, then lower time frame. So going from this morning, you guys know I like to trade my pre-market setup. It just works for me, my bread and butter into opening market open. It works for me. It's a banger and therapeutic actually. No, but around 7, 8, and 9 a.m. in the morning, we got, where's my arrow? We got, gotta make this black so you can see it. There we go. We got our new week opening gaps below, plus a set of new day opening gaps below as well. So you would think that price wants to gravitate towards it and, go towards the consequent encroachment of it, or at least touch it and give us some type of strong reaction or any type of reaction in general. But you gotta look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture was when price came down, yes, it did touch the consequent encroachment, and yes, it did come all the way down to the new week opening gap and the new day opening gap. But you also have to look at some details that it is a very sensitive area. Look at these wicks. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impactful wicks here in this area, basically saying like it's too hot to touch and there's a lot of people that's trying to buy everything. Now, with that being said, I also drew my, well, not mine, I'm not going to claim it, but I drew some priming here, basically 2 points that are going to help me identify the direction of where price is going to go. So the rule of thumb is if the first point is lower than the second point, or actually, let me say it again. We're going to look at the most relative equal highs and relative equal lows. So on this relative equal low, the next one that is relatively close and lower or low is this green one right here. Now that one isn't as lower as the first one, the previous one. So it's just meaning that it's going higher. And same thing with this relative equal low to this relative equal low. So it also means that price is moving also higher, looking for higher prices. So with that being said, this little bias here for higher time frame market structure, we also have higher high, higher low, well, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. But just to skip all that, it's just higher high and then higher low. And then if it didn't go any lower than this previous higher low, then it should stay true to market structure, meaning you had to seek out higher high. Now, what I failed to realize in the morning was I have to realize that when we're looking for an opportunity that plays around the new week opening gap, we also have to make sure that if it's rejecting as well, we can trade to it and away from the new day opening gap and the new week opening gap. So that's 2 entry criterias to start us off with a 7, 8, 9 pre-market and 9:30 market open position is rejections and basically just purging through. So I want to show you the reason why I believe price moved farther up using what I know as far as my education wise. We have this huge run right here where price left all this inefficiency open, basically leaving all these orders open for people who were selling earlier in the week. And it also left a relative equal high here, which had buy side liquidity. Even though that we have the new week opening gap below, we also have to make sure that market structure and news is in confluence with what price is actually trying to achieve. So with that being said, we had about 3 confluences today. We had market structure on the 15-minute time frame. We also had open inefficiencies from this huge bearish run. And then on top of that, we had buy side liquidity where price could target to and move farther up to, all-time highs. So I want to just kind of just verify within the strategy that when we're looking for bias, it really does revolve around market structure and where the liquidity is, and also where the new day opening gap and new week opening gap is. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead into the lower time frame on the 1 minute. So we got huge bullish movement, but I'll show you what I was thinking or what I was sketching. So we got 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10, and should be 10:32, but I didn't stay on the charts too long. I had to hop off, but we have basically our 7, 8, 9. All right, I like to leave the 10 just for the reversals, just in case I am able to stay longer, because 9:30 market open usually, works out pretty good. But we're gonna go with it. Moving forward, we have. I should actually show you this. We got previous market structure, bullish liquidity, right there up top, right here. And we started off 7 o'clock, reaching that buy side liquidity, and then we had a huge drop. It does look like price was trying to play around the new week and new day opening gap below, which does seem like it were to, oh my gosh, I can't speak, which does look like it was going to go lower. But looking at the 15-minute market structure and news and basically the time, there was no significant like news that played around the morning, or it wasn't like 8:30 in Pacific, or it wasn't 9:30 in Pacific, or 10 in Pacific. So it's just lingering around, and it did get closer to the new week opening gap, but it did leave this sell side liquidity open. So around, what time is this? 8:15. It created that sell side liquidity and started to prime upwards, basically showing us that price is starting to move bullish towards the buy side liquidity. And when it's moving to the buy side liquidity, it's possible to start thinking like, hey, what are the next targets for price to move to? And we would look at the 15-minute, and we would look at market structure, previous highs, or some inefficiencies, or if there's any opening gaps above. And the only thing significant are 2 things, which are these open orders here, these open inefficiencies, and we also have the buy side liquidity that is also available to us too. So my thought process should have been, if price is truly bullish, then it should reject the new week opening gap and push towards this void of orders and this gasoline, or I should say this gas station, to explode even higher up, which is liquidity. Because when it did, it went farther past that mark. So now it basically, yeah, that's about it. It just went past it and it went higher. So just keeping it plain and simple, that buy side liquidity was the overall target for today in my case, because previous structure has no data of anything higher, and it did create a new all-time high, it looks like. Yeah, looks like it did create a new all-time high. So now we're in the ballpark field of just seeing where price wants to go now, based off of news, based off of market structure, based off of where the opening gaps are. So it's just being more patient, allowing price to move on its own, giving us data to really know what it wants to do. But other than that, today was a pretty good trading day, getting better and better at reading the market structure, looking at how price can reject or how price can purge through, and overall just getting more comfortable with the strategy itself. And that's about it. I don't want to just keep saying and over and over. But yeah, super simple. My entries were more towards the line of I wasn't able to get any buys from 789, so I did end up trying to take a sell when price was more upward up in this area, but I ended up break even and losing a trade. So I ended up just walking away and just realizing, like, hey, it is what it is. I see it, I acknowledge it, and I move on and I grow from it. But we'll be back with another video. So stay cool, stay beastie, guys. Peace.